Welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. My name is George Wright III with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. We're on episode 338, and today I want to discuss with you some ways, bridging off yesterday's episode, on how you can make some changes in your life by changing your philosophy or your beliefs. So let's start with the quote of the day. It's by Brian Tracy, and it says, "There's no security in life, only opportunity." I think that's a great perspective to have. I love Brian Tracy. He's spoken for us many times. But there really is no security in life, just opportunities, ways for you to be able to create your life. So about a year ago, I did an episode on why I thought personal development is not enough to create the change that you want in your life. And I want to discuss a little bit of those same topics with you today because they tie in directly to the topics that we're covering this week about changing your beliefs or your philosophy that you operate from. Now, as a driven entrepreneur, I've cycled through so many different ups and downs in my life and my focus and my direction over time. You know, I've gone from chasing success in order to get happiness and fulfillment to shifting my priorities to just live a life of happiness and fulfillment. And major changes in my life have helped me to develop a new awareness so that now I feel like I'm moving my development from the outside to the inside, and it's forcing me to change my beliefs. And that's what's created a lot of significant benefits for me in my life. And so personal development had kind of become my focus. But I've always really had the ability to push past obstacles in my life just through pure motivation, inspiration, and education. But I also wanted to be able to create strategies and things that I could help other people with. That's why I created the Daily Mastermind podcast, mobile app, the Daily Mastermind in general. Is I thought, throughout this journey of motivating, inspiring, and educating, I became aware that there was more needed than just personal development. And so I created these tools because I wanted to be able to add what else was missing. Because, awareness is not enough. Personal development is not enough. Identifying your limiting beliefs is not enough. Like many of you, I've pursued these things my entire life with success, and they've helped, but without sometimes lasting changes in many areas. The examples of that is that you may have taken courses or gone to events or, subscribed to different things. What we really need is what David Bear has kind of said, on some past episodes I've referenced, personal development 2.0, where we really understand the science and the processes needed in our minds, our makeup, our genetic makeup, to create lasting change. Let me explain to you what I mean. We've all heard this process of the belief cycle, and I can review that for you real quick, and that is that your thoughts will create feelings that drive your actions, and those will create results which will reinforce your beliefs or create beliefs. All of your thoughts and feelings create actions which will give you your results and then validate your beliefs. So we're always in this cycle, and this is why our thoughts create our life. This is also why our limiting beliefs, if our beliefs don't serve us, will hurt our ability to create and grow. Now, you can tell yourself you believe or you want something, but your subconscious, your real true beliefs may sometimes be working against you. It's that old saying that I've brought up before where you say you want it, but if your actions don't reflect what you say you believe, then it's doubtful you really truly believe it, or you would be getting a different result. So we identify these limiting beliefs, and traditional personal development tells us to be aware of them and change them, just literally have a breakthrough. But it's not that simple, which brings me to the point of this kind of episode, and I wanted to help you, provide you a little bit of added resources through the Daily Mastermind. See, after 20 years in personal development, financial education, and entrepreneur, space and business in general, I've heard topics that have really changed the way I think you should approach your life. And maybe it was something new, or maybe it was just said a different way. But, recently, and over the last couple of years, things have really fallen into place more and more. See, I've had a lot of these puzzle pieces kind of come together because you've heard me talk about this concept of neuroplasticity. And this is the wiring of your brain. Let me kind of walk you through it again, and I really want you to listen and learn and dig in and get more information on this topic. But neuroplasticity is the ability of our brains to form and reorganize the synaptic connections that create patterns and habits, right? Especially in response to learning or experiences that we have. This is really important because everything we believe is created from our experiences. Everything we store in our minds and brains is based on these experiences that we have that create our beliefs. So neurons, you've heard me say this before, neurons that fire together wire together. So over our life, we create these patterns and beliefs that guide our thinking, and the more and more we travel that path, the more automatic it becomes. That's why when you, as an example, this is why when you're in a state of believing that you're not worthy, or you're depressed, or you're not enough, or people take advantage of us, or bad things happen to us, or we can't ever catch a break, we're hardwiring these thoughts and beliefs into our minds. And the challenge is if we don't effectively work to break or reprogram or rewire our minds, then our brains and our subconscious and our limiting beliefs, or whatever you want to call it, they're going to constantly keep pulling us back against efforts that we're making. So what I'm saying is you have to find a way to reprogram the neurons in your brain. It's really as simple as that. Now, do I believe you can motivate and inspire and educate with strategies and push through circumstances and create new experiences? Absolutely. I totally believe that. I've been doing that my whole life. But if you truly want to understand, and make some change, you need to create a clear understanding, strategy, and process by which you're going to reprogram your thinking so that you can effectively, intentionally create new belief patterns and new experiences and new empowering thoughts. And at the same time, also eliminate and stop the negative patterns and beliefs and paths that your neurons travel. I know that that's going to make a huge difference for you, because sometimes even when you don't believe you're directing your efforts, you're creating patterns subconsciously or automatically. And if you don't commit to identifying and changing your patterns, it'll be a lifelong struggle for you the rest of your life. The key, I really believe, to making lasting change is to find a way to interrupt the patterns that don't serve you and create new patterns, and slowly allow your mind to move that direction more often, automatically. And this takes practice, it takes repetition, but it really takes conscious awareness of where you are and what you're doing. And truth be told, it takes obviously a foundation of personal development and interest in personal development as well. So here's the steps. You've got to, and these are some really simple steps that I want you to write down and I want you to dig into this week. Number one, you've got to first identify the patterns you want to change in your life, whether it's communication, whether it's business, whether it's discipline, health, whatever it is. Second, you really have to understand the ins and outs of why they happen, when they happen, what triggers you to fall into more anxiety or depression, or what is it that pulls you back from exercising or from having better communication. Try to understand and recognize these patterns. Really take note, mental note of why these patterns are happening. Third, you need to map out the new patterns that you want to form. And when you map these new patterns out, the key is to recognize when the patterns that aren't serving you are happening and quickly interrupt that pattern. And there's a lot of things we're going to talk about this week that'll be able to help you with that. But the minute you can interrupt the pattern that you would normally take and change direction, and this takes, listen, the awareness and preparation are key. See, the reason I want you to think through this is because if you think through these patterns, you'll be prepared and you'll know how to interrupt the pattern, and you'll know what'll help direct you out of the funk you're in, or you'll know what'll help you to go the extra mile or put in the extra effort because you've already thought through it in advance. And then remember, the neurons that fire together wire together. So the more often and the more frequently and the more consistently and the quicker that you interrupt these patterns, the more you're going to reprogram your mind to do what you need to do. So obviously personal development is a foundation, but understanding how your mind, your body, and everything works is a really, really important piece, or else you've got things working against you you haven't spent any time learning more about. So this is the purpose of the Daily Mastermind. This is why I do the podcast. Just having the repetition of the motivation, inspiration, and education should be able to help you be more aware and start to identify. But you've got to do the work. You've got to sit down and you've got to identify these patterns, and you've got to identify what it is you want to create in your life. Because if you don't identify that, the change isn't going to happen. And every one of us is going to be doing this the rest of our life. So you may as well make a conscious effort to start to learn to get outside your comfort zone, create new beliefs, new experiences that'll create those beliefs, and the best life, the best version of yourself that you can. That's my hope, that's my goal, and that's the mission of this Daily Mastermind podcast and the community. So I appreciate you listening. I hope this has at least opened your mind a little bit more. Tomorrow I want to walk you through some really tangible ways that you can get outside your comfort zone, maybe lean into your fear a little bit more and go the extra mile to be able to take yourself in a new direction. And for some of you that are crushing it right now, that just means you're going to go to a whole new level. Some of you that are struggling, that means you're going to start to get back on track. But that's the goal, and that's what I'd like to do for you. I hope you've enjoyed the message today. I appreciate you listening. Please do me a favor and share the podcast, and I look forward to talking with you more tomorrow. Once again, this is George Wright III, and this has been the Daily Mastermind. Have a great day.